Hello and welcome everyone to our Blab. It's Laura Rubenstein and Dr. Roberta Shaler back again talking about relationships and social media and business and just all kinds of things to help us get through the holidays this year. How are you,
Yes,
Dr. Roberta?
I'm really well, and I've written quite a bit, and you can find it on For Relationship Help, but I've written quite a bit about helping people with the joy of wanting to go home for the holidays, but the dread of going home for the holidays and how to make that be different this year. So I'm really happy to talk about that because I think that happens for many people. You really hope it's going to be different, but you're afraid it's going to be the same. And what can you do to make that change?
Yeah, I really think I have to prepare in that way. And I've also been thinking, okay, well, if I'm going to be taking some time off, but I want my business to keep moving, what do I need to prepare for to keep it thriving? And what will I be able to do while I'm visiting family and spending that quality time with them? So I am looking forward to talking about all things getting prepared emotionally and business-wise for the holiday here. And we have a whole holiday season starting with Thanksgiving, then rolling into all the December holidays. So,
right, and that's a long period of time to keep your business up and your sociability pleasant. Because you're running back to your computer to make sure things work, and then you want to be fully engaged and enjoying the holiday season. So I think these things go hand in hand because we can get very, very stressed during the holidays.
Yeah, and keeping it consistent and having a plan is all good. And so I think, great place to start is like, okay, let's plan emotionally and let's plan business-wise. So how can people plan? If we're going back to be with family, some we go into bad patterns with at times, or we're not really thrilled with those people. How do we prepare ourselves emotionally?
Well, I would hope that you would prepare yourself by saying, who am I? Who am I and how do I want to be? Because regardless of how anyone else is in your life, it's who you are that is important. And so if you've changed, if you've opened your heart, perhaps you have more love to express, perhaps you've let go of some of the pain, and other people are still in it. Go with that open heart. Go with the view to the positive, and don't expect people to have changed. It's maybe they have, and that would be wonderful. But if they haven't, don't you change to fit in with them again. I think that's very, very important because we get into old patterns of being with our family because we have, we're on the train or the plane or the automobile going to visit our family. We're like, oh, I hope Uncle George doesn't do this. And yes, I hope that we have this to eat. And we're just fraught with things we really want and things we really don't want. So number one thing that I would say is remember you're taking you home, you who you are right now, and stay being that person. Don't let yourself drift into some old habit, old place, old drama.
I also have to say it's very timely. We have a lot of strife going on in the world. And then when we go into our little microcosm of a family with the dynamics that can be tense, I really like your advice because if I want to maintain that tranquil, peaceful, harmonious, loving state of being, and go in and avoid getting into that tension, I really feel that it's important to, like you say, be who I am and focus on that. And welcome to the people who are joining us. Hi, Abdul. Glad you're here.
Yes.
Thanks for the props.
Yes. Hello. So yeah, it is really important, Laura, because it's easy to fall back into patterns and expectations of other people. So just give up your expectations of people being different and love them for who they are. That's living from who you are rather than reacting to others. And if you need to regroup, give yourself permission to go into a quiet room, sit quietly, remember what you value, remember who you are now, and then come back out and be that. You may need a little practice, but give yourself permission to take that practice and to have some time.
Yeah, and speaking of that, when you're in the holiday situation, if it is stressful and you do have access to social media, I find it a great place to recenter myself in that loving space. I often say, go have a love fest on social media. Go wish somebody happy birthday. Tell them that you care about them. Let them go find a positive quote online and share it. You'll feel better about bringing out positive energy out there. Get back to your center to be able to come back to that place. Make your happiness a priority. And I love that, accepting other people just as they are. Don't expect them to change. Oh my goodness.
Well, a long time ago, I wrote a book called Reaching and Teaching. But it's about the fact that it was going into schools, and I had to come up with a phrase that was a secular phrase that would give people a quick reminder, particularly children, a quick reminder of how to behave. And so I made a poster, and I think it pertains to what we're talking about here. When you know who you are, then here's what the poster said: give only what you're willing to receive.
I gotta write that down.
Be the person that you are willing to have come back at, and don't fall into the traps of going somewhere else. In life, if we can just give what we're willing to receive, our life changed. So practice that this holiday, because then you know that that saying, what goes around comes around. Well, it's starting from you. So give only what you're willing to receive.
I'm just gonna do that this way for people to really get that. Yeah. That's great. And more of Dr. Roberta's wisdom is at forrelationshiphelp.com, and my blogs are at transformtoday.com. So I love that. Give only what you're willing to receive. And again, on social media, do the same thing. Exactly. It's kind of like the golden rule reworded in a more practical way, Well,
in a more acceptable, generally way too, and it was what you said about social media that stimulated me to remember that phrase to put in here, because that's what we need to do on social media too.
Right.
Give generously. Be pleasant. Be positive. Absolutely. Be uplifting. Be empowering. Don't be ranting and carrying on and going down roads that only create drama and trauma. Because why? Why would you do it? This is not your therapeutic forum. Get a therapist. Make the world a better place by the fact that you're in it.
Yes, exactly. And Deborah's here. Hi, Deborah. Thanks for being here. And totally, I agree. Sometimes we bring the best of ourselves out online, and sometimes we bring it out in person. And so wherever you bring it out the best, bring it into that other realm as well. Use whatever you need. Go to that best, most positive place. We need your positive energy out there in the world. So does the person struggling that you struggle with as well. It would be huge, huge, huge.
Yeah, absolutely. That's your contribution. Who you are is your contribution to the world. If you think about that and you reflect on yesterday, how did you do? What kind of contribution did you make? Was it caring and compassionate and loving and uplifting? Or was it Debbie and Downer? And of course, I'm not suggesting that you don't be authentic and you fake it till you make it kind of thing. But let's always be aware that everything that we do or say or write or comment on is making a difference. And the same thing is true when you go home for the holidays. Who you've become can be the spark that changes some interactions. But if you jump into the old way of being, old expectations, you can get into some difficulties that you didn't need to jump into.
Yeah, and you're always at choice.
Yes, about that.
So like yesterday. Yep, go ahead.
If you can even find something that someone shared that's had meaning for you on social media and you'd like to promote the idea, there you go. And if you need that quiet moment to reflect when you're at home for the holidays and you recede to your computer, look for those uplifting things and share those. And it does, Laura. I agree with you. It puts you in a different place when whatever you focus on. In fact, I wrote a book called What You Pay Attention to Expands. And that's exactly what you're talking about here. is if you go and recharge yourself by giving on social media, something that has value to you and is empowering and uplifting, it does the same for you.
Cool. Deborah's saying she's going to create a meme with what you said, who you are is your contribution to the world. Maybe you even have one, Roberta.
Great. I'd love that. Yeah.
And don't forget, she's at forrelationshiphelp.com.
Yeah, all these things that just fall out of my mouth, I'm happy somebody's collecting.
Here's the meme. Here's the other
meaning to you.
Give only what you're willing to receive. You can just take a screenshot of that, right?
Yeah.
There's your meme. Easy meme. We're having fun. Thanks for being here, everyone. And, being on social media means being social. And I'm on a mission. I know, Roberta, you're on a mission to bring more peace and joy and inspiration into the world and using social media for social good. And so if you're in that, props to you. If you're all about using social media for social good, bringing positive energy to the world, then you're our tribe. And we are trying to empower and point to those empowering ways of being that will help you thrive in your personal relationships, in your business. So, for example, in social media, to prepare for the holidays, think about what you'd love during the holidays. Now, we all know Cyber Monday's coming, Black Friday's coming. It's a great opportunity to give back to your community. So if there's some way you want to give back, plan it today, as we're almost there. Schedule out some posts, schedule out your blogs and your whatever your e-commerce situation is to give that gift. And, it's a great time of year to build your list, to build relationships, even with your existing customers who you haven't visited in a while, haven't communicated with in a while. So again, practicing that positive energy on people who already know, like, and trust you is fabulous. And then you go home for the holidays knowing that you feel really good about your business and you come bringing the best of you and giving only what you're willing to receive, as Dr. Roberta said. So that's kind of a little bit of my nuggets that I wanted to share, interweaving our two. I love how we come together, Roberta, and kind of play together with relationships online and offline.
Well, yes. And I think that the hallmark there, Laura, is authenticity. We need to be the same person offline and online. And we need to know who that person is and have done our own work. I know many times I have clients from many parts of the world, and to help them get the clarity of what are your values, what's your vision for your life, what are all the beliefs that you have about how the world works and how life works, and where are you focused right now? Those things are very important, and often we're so busy doing more and being more and having more that we don't sit and be self-reflective and know who we really are, so that we know what to contribute that's in alignment with that. So that's my encouragement, is know who you are, know what you stand for, and then be that person online, offline, everywhere that you are. My daughter asked me a long time ago to write something that she could share with her friends about what I do. And what I wrote is this: what's important is simple. Know what you value and invest your time accordingly. This is integrity, and it will bring you peace. And I really believe that. So it's part of what we're expressing here today is, if you know what you value and you live it, you demonstrate it in all that you do, then you are going to feel peaceful because you're aligned. And then that will spread, whether it's online or with the person at the grocery store or with that person that you have difficulty with who's always a downer in the holidays.
Yeah.
So, I think it's a wonderful, timely thing to be talking about how to improve relationships when you're going home for the holidays. But it's part of the bigger question of who am I now? Not who was I, but who am I now? And therefore, how do I behave?
Mm-hmm. And what I'm getting out of what you're saying is take time to reflect, like you said. Otherwise, you're going to react. And we are
exactly.
When we're in this reactionary mode, you said it's where we're focusing. So, if we holidays are a really good time to also slow down. I know it feels like you're rushing around and preparing and doing this and that, but if you can take some time to just stop and do that reflection, who do you love? What do you value? How do you want to be?
And that's a really good point too, Laura. Just to jump in on that, do that reflection before you go. On your way home, do some visualization with yourself about who you love and why you love them and what you're looking forward to. Prepare yourself. Get the mindset for being that loving, accepting, and empowering being. Mm-hmm. Just talk to yourself. Have the self-talk that leads you to go there. And that will change how you are when you arrive. Not be, the airplane was late and it was such a rush and this was terrible and everything. It'll be more, I'm so happy to see you. I've been looking forward to this. So it is true, like my book title, what you pay attention to expands, but you have to purposefully pay attention to what you want.
Yeah. And this neighborhood up here can be very insistent in not focusing on what you want, but worrying. And in hypnosis, what we talk about is doing pattern interrupts. And music is a really good way to do that. So if there's some music that makes you feel loving or positive or joyful, why not on the plane pop those in your ears? Because that'll help that neighborhood and interrupt that worry pattern and help you get back on track with what you're saying.
Right. And what you're talking about is just really thoughtful self-care. Mm-hmm. And you deserve that because you matter. And when you really recognize that you matter and that you care about who you're bringing to the party, then you take good care of yourself. So thinking ahead by having that music on your iPhone or whatever, and knowing that this will help me to be my best me whenever I need a recharge. That's so thoughtful and so much a demonstration of mattering to yourself. And I applaud that one big time. I think that's, great.
Self-care packing list, music. Do you need to bring sneakers to go for a walk? What do you need to do to take care of yourself? Do you already have to have some memes created in your laptop so that you can post them to social media and remind yourself during that? What will you use for support if you happen to go off track? I love that.
And what reading are you taking with you? Like a vacation or a change of venue can provide a change of state. What reading are you taking that is pleasant and empowering again, and uplifting again, and inspiring, and bringing out the best you?
Yep.
Right?
And you've got some great reading at your site. You've got your Kaizen for couples. You've got the passive aggressive checklist. You've got all kinds of blogs.
Yeah, I do. And I've got several articles dedicated to the holidays and how to navigate having a happier holiday when you go home. Now for me, the holidays are very, very quiet because my family is far away and they don't stay home for the holidays, so I don't go there. But for you, you're the expert on how to have a great going home for the holidays because you do it every year and you make it into a big trip and you see lots of people. And so what you're offering are practical things that I know you do. Mm-hmm. And that's great. From my point of view, I'm going to spend a lot of quiet, rejuvenating time, refreshing time, relaxing time. And that's the way that I honor the holiday season.
And yourself through self-care and self-nurturing. That's awesome. Sounds very appealing to take a holiday and do that. Yes, my family's all back east, and when we do visit them, I prepare a couple of things in particular. What is it from my life that I don't see them, since I don't see them, that I can bring to share? Something that's fun, joyous, health-orientated, that I've gotten excited about. So that helps me keep my focus in the positive, and also keeps it in the positive. It keeps me connected to my life at home as well, but brings them into the fold as well. Then I also want to make a point of, who do I really want to connect with? And what do I want to know about them? Because there's cousins, and there's aunts, and there's parents, and there's step-parents, and there's in-laws. So, who do I want to spend, who will I connect with, and make that a highlight to connect with and find out more. Or maybe I just go with the intention of, I'm going to do that with someone. I'm going to enjoy exploring and being curious about their lives. So I do think about these things, so I can set myself up for it's kind of like planning a tour, in a sense. It's the emotional tour. How can I have, the best time with this person? And what can I bring to the table to do that, to make that happen, and to practice? For me, a lot of what you're saying, and going back for the holidays, is practice in being me and being authentic in a new situation. It's building that authenticity muscle, if there's such a thing. Because I think we're thrown off course too often.
Well, it's exactly true. And the more that we stay on that course, the more calibration we'll have when we start to go off it, and we can get back on it faster. We've all had that situation where we've said or done something, and we've walked away and going, no, why did I ever do that? We had a momentary slip into some other way of being that we've had. And the best thing to do when that happens is to return immediately, whether you can go to the person in whatever form and say, I have an awareness of what I did or said. And it's not who I am now. It's not how I want to be or present myself, or what I want to contribute to the relationship. And here's what I'd like to say or do. Never let those things slide, because you have to remind yourself of the change, and you do that by being vocal about it, and acknowledging it, and saying what you would prefer to have done or said. And also, it gives them an update on the relationship and you. So they don't think, oh, well, there she hasn't changed a bit. It's putting on notice that there's been change, which is really wonderful. And also, let's just talk about sending greetings on social media. This is a time when gratitudes. How many times do you sit down and just take an hour maybe and express individual gratitude to people on Facebook for things they've contributed, that let them know that you remember what they did, not some general one size fits all, but that you are grateful for individual people, and you make that connection. I think that's an important thing to do.
That's a great thing. If you have a plane ride to do, write it out, and then you'll be ready to send it out when in little snippets of time throughout the weekend. That'd be great. And it's just, gratitude grows that sense of personal fulfillment, and it creates magic out there, because when you're in that joy-filled state, you see other things and opportunities that you wouldn't otherwise, and you'll have a really magical trip. If you tell 5 people a day why you're grateful for them, in person or on social media, I bet it's going to revolutionize your life.
Yeah, I think it definitely will. And I think reaching out in a personal way, like I'm suggesting writing a different note to each person, because you can say, I loved it when you shared something about your life, or I think about you when, or I'm grateful that you did this because it made a difference to me. Letting people know that they made a difference in your life, wow, that's a great thing to do. Because many people are like you and I. We're sitting in our offices, putting things out and doing things all the time. And when someone says to me, I read your blog post and it really hit me at the right time and it made a difference, to me that's woohoo. I'm going to get up and do a little dance and say, I touched a life, and now I know about it. And it's nice to get that feedback. And this is a time when you can give that feedback, when you can remember what people have done or said that have made a difference to you and comment on it individually. And again, like you were saying earlier, Laura, it takes you into a much better frame of mind for just your daily living, to be focused on what it is that was good and wonderful in your life.
Yeah, and Deborah had a great idea. Don't forget, you can also send handwritten notes. I like to send out cards. It's an online system that sends out a paper greeting card, but you can personalize it with your own handwriting. You can personalize it with your own image and or images. And I love sending after the holidays. I'll send, or after a visit with somebody, I'll send kind of a compilation of photos back to somebody. And it's my way of reliving the events, the best parts of the events, and saying thank you. And again, sharing that gratitude. So if you guys have any questions, we're here for you. I'm going to mute myself out.
Yeah, happy to hear your questions. And I have a very large graphic that Laura made on send out cards of Laura and Maria and I. We were mastermind partners, and we went to an event, and there was a photograph taken, and it's wonderful. You know, it sits near my desk at home, and I think, wow, yeah, that was a great day. Love that. So yes, thanks for the idea of handwritten note. And the idea is to ask your questions. This is the time to get any questions answered that we might have some answers for you. So ask away. We're ready to do that. I think when we're preparing ourselves for the holidays, whether we're going home or not, to decide to have a restful holiday, regardless of how much activity there might be, is something that is very intentional. Yeah. Laura's reminding us we need sleep. Don't forget how important that is to who you want to be. It's important for us to be intentional about who we are and how we do things. And when we do go to visit people, go with this sense of joy to connect and share and love, not judge and demand and begrudge. And, you know, if you're going to go for wholeheartedly. Even if it's somewhere you're not sure you want to go, jump in and bring your best self, because all of that is energetic and you are too. So, and another little tip, be willing to leave if things get a little rough. Don't be part of the roughness. Leave so you could keep your integrity intact. It's something we sometimes don't want to do because, you know, what'll it look like if I leave? But if you don't have something good to say, don't say anything at all. And if you don't have something uplifting to contribute, it might be time to go. Yeah, so don't stick around for the drama.
It's okay to say, in a very neutral way, I need to go right now. I need to go right now. I was at a party recently and someone wasn't feeling very well, but he stuck it out. And by the end of the night, I was like, I wish he would have said, I need to go. And, you know, everybody who was there would have welcomed that. That would have been just fine. So take care of it. It's another form of self-care, is taking care of yourself. I need to go right now. I need to be in my own space so I can come back, you know, better.
Yeah. So I can go and regroup, you know. You're again, it's a way of showing that you matter. Like, I matter enough to take myself away before I do or say something that I won't be happy about, and then I can come back. Now, I'm not suggesting that there aren't tough questions and tough conversations you have to have with some people, but please don't have them in front of other people. And that's something that happens at the holiday. You know, one little interchange, one little snippy remark, one little blindsiding comment can set the whole tone of an evening with friends or relatives off. So don't let that come from your mouth. Yeah. Thanks, Deborah. You too. And just really, really know that you want to be the author of the event, that you will be happy with the way you performed. And so take yourself away if you need to.
Remember that social media is not the place to vent about it. Like you said, it's not your therapist. Okay, if you need to vent about it, bring a journal, write. call a friend back home. Call one of us. We're here for you. We will do sessions. We are available for sessions. So please join, take advantage of the resources. Read a blog on one of our sites. We have so much to offer you in support. So we wish you a very happy holiday, happy Thanksgiving, happy, bringing out the best of you. I love that, what you said, Roberta, about being authentic and practicing authenticity instead of getting derailed into old patterns that really don't serve you, and doing your best, bringing out your best on social media. If you're going to use social media for anything emotionally, it's to cultivate your positive energy by sharing positive, reading positive. I would stay away from the homepage. If the posts you're seeing on your homepage are negative, please hide those posts or unfriend those people and let Facebook know you don't want to see those, just because they're not serving you, they're not serving the world. And we want to use social media for social good. One other thing that happened just before I got on the blab today, might be a great idea for some people, was I got an email from somebody who I hired as a coach once, and he's like, hey, how can I be a resource to you? I have tons of people. What do you need in your business right now? And then he went on to say, here's what I'm looking for. And if you refer anybody, I will give you a percentage. So it's not a bad idea to reach out, to think about what do you need and what would be a good way of communicating that. I don't know how much he'll get out of it, but the more you really do what you were saying, Roberta, about focusing in on what you value and what you want this holiday season to be about, personally and professionally, and then take action on that, is the best way to get ready and thrive in your holiday season.
Right. I agree with you. And I put a link in the chat here. If someone is having difficulties and they are ready to move into new ways of being and relating to other people and themselves, I do offer a free consultation application, which is at that link for relationshiphelp.com/free-consult. It's not for one-shot questions. It's for people who are considering moving into a relationship with me to improve, but I'm happy to talk with you.
Yep.
And this is a wonderful time. It's a wonderful time to be positively you, and take that positive you home. And I'm not talking about, Pollyanna and woohoo, aren't we? Everything is sunshine and roses. But you choose how you view the world and how you view other people and yourself. And you can change that choice at any time to something that is more empowering. And that's really what we're talking about. Be that when you go home, because you'll feel better. Everybody will feel better. And it'll give everybody the opportunity to have changed. Let them know that you're interested in their growth, what's happened with them and how they've grown since you saw them last. So you can change the conversation.
Here's to changing conversations. I love this. I think we're about to ready to wrap up here. It's been a wonderful time of connection and creating positive energy for the rest of the year, going straight into 2016. We will be back again in December at some point. Of course, we love
Laura gets
chatting
back
with you.
from her holiday tour.
Yes, I'm going on a holiday tour.
And I'm going to be doing some blabs too. So please, if you've subscribed to me, you'll know immediately when I'm going to do a blab. And Laura and I will be back and happy to talk and answer questions. And Laura, have a wonderful holiday tour.
Thank you, and you have a wonderful, nurturing time in your holidays. I'm vicariously doing that.
Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the holidays and be the gift.
Be the gift. Remember to give only what you're willing to receive. A Roberta-ism. Love it. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.